Hey guys, we're back. Thank you for tuning in. This is Agree to Disagree Boxing Podcast with your host, Carl. Unfortunately, Mr. Omar, my co-host, isn't here today. Hopefully he'll be here on the next episode. Also, my other co-host for UFC fights and stuff like that, Mr. George, he's not here either. So, just your boy, Carl, here by himself today. Sorry. I don't know if I'm getting sick or what. I don't know what's going on. I just woke up. I knew I had to film this podcast. Again, I'm going to film this, put this out for Monday. No, actually, I think I'm going to knock it out for Sunday. Yeah, because you guys need a podcast every week. So I'm trying to be as consistent as possible. Hey, and again, if this is your first time tuning in, make sure you hit that like button. Even if you don't like it, hit the dislike button and leave a comment below and tell me what kind of sports and boxing information you would like to hear. Don't forget to subscribe. You guys out there, thank you for everyone who has helped me get to but I'm up to 135 subscribers right now as of this episode. This is episode 11. So again, thank you. We can't thank you guys enough. Business is actually doing extremely well. We got a new client. Shout out to her, Mo Unique Fitness. I'll give her a shout out. I'll leave a link in the description below to her information. She's a fitness company right here in Houston, as well as Killing Every Day. Everybody already knows Killing Every Day. We rep them, their home team all day. I'll leave a link to the description as well. We're working on our website. The website is coming along great. If you'd like to be a part of our company and you have your own brand and you'd like to be featured on our website, please leave a comment down below. Contact us at flashcustomdesigns@gmail.com. You can also contact us at Straight Out of Content on Instagram or Flash Custom Designs on Instagram as well. Yeah, guys, let's go ahead and get into boxing news today. I got my computer up. Hopefully everybody out there is doing good. I think the first thing that I'm going to start with today, I'm a little under the weather, or at least I feel like I'm going to be under the weather. But the first thing that I want to start with today is the Spence versus Garcia fight. Again, I kind of I know the hot topics that everybody wants to talk about and stuff like that. You know, especially the hot topic from last week, which is Tyson versus Jones, and everybody knows how I feel about that. If you've talked to me, or if you've left a comment, or if you text me and stuff like that. But, you know, there's a lot of things going on, and boxing is still kind of slow. So I'm trying to give as much content as possible. I already touched on the glove gate with Tyson Fury last week. If you haven't seen that episode, go back and check that out. I'm trying to do a new swag here. You see I got my light. Here. Just trying to bring some different swag. Got my Mac here that I'll actually be using this time. So it's official. We finally get to see Deontay Wilder now sitting on a Mayweather. What? Okay, I just got a new notification, something about Deontay Wilder. But we now get to see Errol Spence fight after his horrific car crash, which was crazy. Because, and I kind of want to touch on this about fighters. We've seen it with Sugar Ray Leonard, seen it with Julio Cesar Chavez. We've seen it with so many fighters that they throw away Adrian Broner. We've seen it with so many fighters, how they throw away or potentially throw away their careers with substance abuse. And that's almost what happened to Errol Spence. If Errol Spence wasn't who he was in the physical phenomenon that he is, he'd be dead. The fact that he can still fight professionally is just amazing. That's not normal. Most people would die. Luckily, he has another opportunity, and if if this accident never happened, everybody would be saying there's no chance. Danny Garcia already lost to Keith Thurman. Danny Garcia already lost to Sean Porter. There's no way that Danny Garcia can beat Errol Spence, who beat both of them, right? There's no way. Like, that wouldn't happen. Well, not both of them. He didn't fight Keith, but still, he fought Sean. So, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way that he would say, there's no way none of us would say Danny Garcia has a chance. But because of this accident, we don't know what fighter we're going to get. Like, we don't know the underlying ailments that are going on with Errol Spence every day. We just don't know. You know what I mean? After a horrific car accident, you just don't know what that person has to go through, not just physically, but mentally, how they feel. It takes a lot out of you. So, and especially he's going to be fighting in a pandemic. So I know that there's not going to be a lot of people there. There's not going to be a lot of people there. So on top of this being your first fight against a killer like Danny Garcia, because people really underestimate Danny Garcia. It's not like that any fight that he's been in, he got ran over. He's never been ran over. He's never even been knocked down that I know of. Now, if somebody out there has video of Danny Garcia being knocked down, you could show me. I've never seen him knocked down. I've seen him hurt, but I've never seen him knocked down. And he has a tremendous chin. And he has an opportunity. If he can upset Errol Spence, now he's looking at, some potential big fights. He's looking at the Pacquiao fight. He's looking at maybe a rematch with Sean Porter, or he's looking at that crossover fight over there with Terrence Crawford on the other side. So that's a fight that I'm really looking forward to. As far as Danny Garcia, there's nothing really to say on that side. This fight all depends on how Errol Spence performs after his, crazy car accident. I don't know. I think personally he should have took a lesser opponent, but right now in this pandemic, PBC, Fox, these guys, they have to put on a crazy show. They have to find something to make people come and watch. You got the top ranked shows that are happening every week, but nobody's even watching it like that. Like, nobody is really tuning in. And whenever you tune in, there's nobody in the stands. So, it's even hard for people like me who focus on these, combat sports to kind of figure out, what to actually comment on. I mean, right now, Mike Tyson, who hasn't fought since 2005 in 15 years, he's luckily we got him to even bring people to boxing, because if it wasn't for that fight, him versus Roy Jones, we still wouldn't hear much about it. Sports in general. I mean, have you watched an NBA game? If the Lakers win this year, I mean, does it really count? And what are you going to have? You're going to have a celebration. It's going to be the most quiet celebration of the NBA championship finals ever. It's going to be silent. People are going to be, you're going to be able to hear, a roach piss on cotton. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's the same, but still. So I don't know. I really, it's difficult. This is going to be a difficult fight. And the thing is, I don't know why he would choose such a tough opponent coming out of this car accident and then training camp and then going into COVID. So then even if he was ready back in March or April, he now has to push it off another 4 or 5 months, which again is going to let him heal. But we don't know what his body's going to react like to a punch. We just don't know. And to me, that's the scary part. The scary part is, does he get cracked by an in-shape, trained Danny Garcia and then get brain bleeding or something like that? I would rather see him have like a fight or two in between so we can kind of scale what Errol Spence we're getting. To just jump right in the water, the new line that's coming from the new line that's coming from Killing Every Day, jump in the water. Yeah, guys, that line's going to be crazy. That clothing line, that for Shark Week, that's just going to be crazy. But anyway, back to subject. He has to jump right in the water to fight this killer. And you hear me talk a lot on this show about fear in these fighters' health, because I like longevity. I want to see my heroes these fighters after later on being commentators or in their communities and stuff like that. I don't want to see them on the side of the street or homeless or brain dead. I can't see that because they gave us all, they're only fighting for us. They're prize fighters. So they're literally going in there, 30 fights, 40 fights, 50 fights, 60 fights, 70 fights like Roy Jones Jr., plus amateur. They're going in there, putting their life on the line for spectators. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate any man who gets into the ring, or man or woman, who gets into the ring and puts their life on the line for our enjoyment. They're modern day gladiators. So I don't know. I don't know who wins that fight. I really don't. If he never had an accident, I'd go with Errol Spence. But I don't know what fighter we're going to get. Let's move on to the next subject. The next subject is Jamal Charlo versus, I can't even pronounce this guy's name. But there's a doubleheader coming on Fox Sports, which is great for boxing. Both of the twins are fighting on the same card. They're going to headline the same card. Jamal Charlo is the bigger one. He fights at 160. He's fighting the guy who I felt beat Gennady Golovkin in their last fight. I felt the guy won. They gave the fight to Triple G, but he's fighting that guy. In fact, they're both fighting killers. Again, Fox, Showtime, these guys are putting all of the top name boxers in tough positions. They're like, listen, we can't have you. We're in a freaking quarantine. Nobody's been watching boxing. You guys haven't been seen in 8-9 months, almost a year. We got to put you in there with somebody who's going to draw some attention. Okay, Jamal, we can't get Canelo because Canelo's been ducking you for years. Yeah, I said it. Canelo's been ducking Jamal Charlo for years. Everybody knows Oscar De La Hoya wants Canelo to have nothing of Jamal Charlo. Nothing. He'll vacate a belt. He'll go up to 175. He'll fight at 175 before he fights a WBC champion at 160. He'll fight for every other belt. He'll fight Triple G for a third time before he fights Jamal Charlo. And they work together. Al Heyman and Oscar De La Hoya work together. The fight can be made like that. But we know what's up. We know what's up. I mean, I know what's up. But, that's the politics right now. I think that Canelo's really trying to BS his way out of his contract, out of his 11-fight contract. He's trying to get every dime he can out of that DAZN contract. Do I see him fighting Jamal Charlo in those 11 fights? Maybe. Maybe out of the last 3 fights, he'll fight Jamal, but he knows the risk that he faces. Because Jamal is the bigger one. He's the one who knocks everybody. He's still undefeated. He's the one who's knocking everybody out. He's putting people to sleep. And if he isn't putting you to sleep, it's a tough, hard fight, and he's still pulling out the win. But this guy that he's fighting, the dude, again, I saw the fight when this guy fought Triple G. I thought he won. Now, Triple G, I don't know if Triple G was sick. I don't know if Triple G had COVID. I don't know what the hell was wrong with him. But something was off, unless it was just age. I don't know. But all I know is that the dude that Jamal is fighting is no joke. He is no joke. And neither is the guy that Jamel, 154-pound champion, after he just got his belt back. The guy who he's fighting knocked out J-Rock. The dude that Jamel is fighting knocked out J-Rock. What is it? Rosario? Again, these guys are fighting. They're no name to the average eye. They're no name to the average person. But I know them because I've seen them. I saw the J-Rock fight. Because these are all the guys that are outside of the big bubble of Canelo. So it's Canelo's at the top. Then you got the Charlo brothers. Technically just one Charlo brother, but Jamel could go up to 160 if he wanted to. They're the exact same size, but they fight at 2 different weight classes. So Jamel could go to 160 if he wanted to, but Jamal handles himself better with middleweights, and Jamel handles himself better with super welterweights. So they're both in extremely hard fights. Me personally, my pick, I got Jamal for his fight. I don't know about Jamel for his fight. And this is where I go into substance. This is where I go into distractions, right here. Coming off of Errol Spence, going into distractions that Jamel might have or might not have. Jamel and Jamal both have social media. But Jamel at 154 is a little more active. He's a little more active on his social media. And I saw him do a video. And again, shouts out. I follow Life with Corey. Beautiful family. They are great YouTubers here in Houston. I know what Jamel is doing. He's building a life for himself outside of boxing. It's smart. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I support you. I know what he's trying to do. I 100% support him. But what I saw was when he had Life with Corey over at his house, and I'll put the episode in, I'll put that episode in the link in the description. When he had Life with Corey at his house, he was drinking something with orange juice. I don't know, some type of champagne bottle, something with orange juice. I don't drink, so I don't even know what these things are called. I don't know. If you know whatever you, it wasn't a screwdriver, because I'm not gonna say who taught me that, but they're a family member. But it wasn't vodka and orange juice. It was something else, like champagne and orange juice, something like that. I know there's a name for it, but I don't know. But when I saw that, I'm like, how serious? And he looks in shape. But I'm like, you just had 2 fights before this to get your belts back. One fight, yeah, that fight could have went either way. This second fight, that fight could have went either way. Even though you dropped him and stuff like that, you definitely deserved to win. But that fight still could have went like the fight still. There's been fights where somebody has dropped. Bernard Hopkins dropped Joe Calzaghe and still lost his fight and felt he should have won. So that fight is the same thing. You dropped, old boy, but do you know what I mean? Like, is it 100% that you should have won that fight? That's a yes or a no. Again, I thought that maybe it's a little biased because I'm from Houston, but I still thought that you pulled off both fights. But they're so close, you can't have fights like that where they're so close. And this guy who stopped Julian J-Rock Williams is a Cuban, and he's not playing. Like this kid is another animal. Everybody in the boxing industry knows about this kid, this Rosario kid. Like, they know that this kid can crack. Like, he can really hit, and he can take a hit. He is extremely tough. And I see Jamel on social media, and I'm wondering, I'm scratching my head, no pun intended, but I'm thinking, like, is he taking this guy serious? And again, I say that with a grain of salt. Of course he's taking this guy serious because they're fighters and they don't want to die in the ring. But what I'm saying is, there's certain things that you can do and there's certain things that you can't do. And again, I only saw Carl, you're making a big deal out of him drinking. All fighters drink. Look at Conor McGregor. Yeah, look at Conor McGregor's performances too. I mean, the last dude who he beat with the shoulder, that wasn't a major guy. You know, that was just a comeback fight, and you see he hasn't fought since. Any of the top guys, he's not doing like that. Damn sure ain't doing the Magomedov like that. You're not doing Khabib like that. So, you know what I mean? That we saw Errol Spence drunk on camera talking to Tank Davis, but we never saw him drinking. But we all knew. So my question is, we never saw Jermell Charlo drunk, but we see him drinking. So my question is, how long has this been going on? And how high does he take it? Because you may think, oh, I can do this and I can dabble and stuff like that, but that stuff affects you. There's a reason why Floyd, who just popped up on my screen again, you know, there's a reason why he never drank. There's a reason why fighters don't drink, don't do this, don't do that during training camp. And really during life, there's a reason why they don't do that. To keep their body healthy. Bernard Hopkins, you don't last till 50-something years old at the elite of the elite of the elite if you're drinking and not taking care of your body. I mean, he's another one who can, you know, really attest to taking care of your body gives you longevity. So I don't know. Because the kid who he's fighting is tougher than the kid that Jamal is fighting at their respected weight classes. The guy who Jamal is fighting is going to be a monster. But Jamal's born with that punching power to keep guys off of him. We've seen guys smother Jamel. So, and then when I see him out here, I see him training on his social media, but I see him making all these videos. He's at the car shows. I wish I had met him. He's stunting and stuff like that, doing all this thing. And I'm like, yo, I understand it's quarantine and stuff like that, but we've already seen a fight of your last time be so close and you got robbed. My question to him is, what makes you think they won't rob you again? That's my question. You got robbed once. What makes you think they won't rob you again? You know what I mean? The fight is next month. They fighting next month. So I don't know. That's going to be tough. I want to see. I want to see them both always succeed and never lose. They're fun guys. I can watch Jamel Charlo all day, and I know what he's doing. He's building a career for after boxing. He's not tripping, but it hurts to see these guys lose, or it hurts to see these guys get robbed when they know after he lost his first fight, he grinded deep down, grinded, came back and won his second fight. And I don't want to see that repeated. So I want to see him go straight to the Lions Den, like they say, like their brand is, straight to the Lions Den, go to the Lions Den and, shut all this social media stuff down. You know what I mean? Shut all this being in your cars and shut all that junk down. Because this kid if you was fighting somebody else, I'd understand, but you're fighting for the belts, 2 belts, and you're fighting the dude that stopped Julian Williams, who we've seen bang and bang and bang and bang and bang. When you're fighting this kid. So, that's that. We're going to move on to the next one. Ties into taking things serious. Gervonta Tank Davis. I touched on this fight with him and Leo Santa Cruz, the last episode, episode 10. He's taking it serious. He ain't playing, which I love to see. He had a tough fight with a one-legged Gamboa. One-legged. Had weight issues and stuff like that with that fight. He's training with Floyd. It's good to see him and Floyd together. It's good to see him training in the Mayweather gym. It's good to see Floyd, really reaching out like, yo, man, I got you. I understand the magnitude of this fight. I got you. I support you. I'm going to make sure that you have everything that you need so that you can focus on this fight. You don't see Tank out there like that. Tank is killing it. Like, he really knows what time it is with this Leo Santa Cruz fight. He knows if he beats Leo Santa Cruz, he's on the map. He already is on the map, but he knows if he beats Leo Santa Cruz, he's on the map. Because this ain't gonna be no easy fight. And Santa Cruz is training his ass off as well. We already know what time it is. He's always about business. Always. We've seen Tank taper off, and his talent wins him, fights and stuff like that. Because he's so, like I said last time, fundamentals and stuff like that go to Leo Santa Cruz, but the talent goes to Tank. But this time, talent and hard work are meeting together. You get the okay. Tank Davis is putting in the hard work, finally. Not finally, but it's good to see that he's maturing and really putting in this crazy hard work. I was so happy when I saw that. That's what I like to see. Because then if you lose, okay, Tank wasn't playing and the other guy was just a better man tonight. There's no excuses. You go in there and you're like, yo, the other guy was just a better man. Like, if Leo Santa Cruz beats Tank, if he beats this Tank, Leo Santa Cruz is a beast. I don't see it happening, but if he does, Leo Santa Cruz is a beast. And vice versa. If Tank goes in there and smokes Leo Santa Cruz or beats him decisively in like a really, great, amazing fight, yeah. Tank is there. I bet you Lomachenko ain't gonna call out Tank. I bet you Lomachenko ain't going nowhere near Tank if he does what I think he's going to do to Leo Santa Cruz. Because Leo Santa Cruz, his one problem, he on duck. He's a traditional Mexican stance. I always got to do it like this because the camera angle. Traditional Mexican stance, and he always shakes his right hand. If you guys watch that fight. If you watch any Santa Cruz fight, go right now, go on YouTube, pull up Leo Santa Cruz and watch. He always shakes his right hand. It's weird. These are minute things that I notice about every single fighter. And he'll fight, and then he'll be like this, and then he'll shake his right hand. And it may look like that his right hand is broken, but it's not. It's just a thing that he does. Mike Tyson, he used to bite his gloves. Mike, bite his gloves. Just certain fighters have certain, quirks about them. So I think Tank is I'm pulling for Tank. I'm pulling for Jamel and Jamal Charlo. I don't know who I'm pulling for Spence Garcia. I hate watching what I call the modern day four horsemen fight each other. Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia at welterweight. I hate watching those guys fight each other. And not that I hate because it's like bad. I hate it because they're my heroes. I've seen Keith and Spence fight live. I need to see Garcia and I need to see Sean Porter fight live. I've seen Adrian Broner's first loss as well. And I've seen Leo Santa Cruz. That's how I know how good these guys are in person, because it's a lot different in person than it is. If you ever get an opportunity, especially with everything being cheap, these tickets, if you ever get an opportunity to see a fight live, definitely go see it. But yeah, I hate seeing these guys fight, man, because they're my heroes and I don't want to see any of them lose. You know what I mean? If you are a little bit older than me, you didn't want to see Ray Leonard or Tommy Hearns lose. You know what I mean? You didn't want to see Marvin Hagler lose. These are your heroes. So I don't want to see Danny Garcia lose again. I definitely don't want to see Errol Spence's first loss. I want these guys to remain undefeated and continue to prosper and get bigger and bigger and bigger. You know what I mean? So it's just tough. It's extremely tough. Food delivery. Buc-ee's. Hope to get a sponsor from Buc-ee's. Hope you get a sponsor from Buc-ee's one day. Buc-ee's, hey, give your boy a sponsor. We stay eating at Buc-ee's, all right? Got the Doritos on deck. She gave me the sausages. What the heck? Hey, I got your mama's sausage. I need the chili dog. They gave me the wrong thing. Tripping. All right, anyway. So, let's move on to Tank training with Floyd. My next subject that I want to talk about is Gary Russell. Now, again, this is for boxing fans. Your average person, you might not even know who the hell Gary Russell is. So, I understand if you skip through this part, because this is for true boxing fans. This dude, I don't know if it's CTE or what, but what you don't do, like when you're talking about yourself, right? These guys are all professional fighters now. You got little itty bitty Gary Russell, who I don't think can even beat Leo Santa Cruz or Tank Davis. He's smaller. He's smaller than these guys, talking about Terrence Crawford and a sucker punch that he did way back when they were 16, 17 years old. Like, what type of I know he hasn't fought in a while, and he got smoked by Lomachenko. Bring me my chili dog, please. Yeah, I don't know how they brought me the wrong thing. He got, I don't get why you're bringing this up. What does it have to do with today? It has nothing to do with today and these times. You can't, and I'm not going to cuss, but you can't do nothing to Terrence Crawford. You can't do nothing to anybody above 135. Nothing. You got smoked by Leo Santa Cruz. I mean, my bad. You would get smoked by Leo Santa Cruz. You got smoked by Lomachenko. Smoked. This dude had like 4 or 5 fights. You got smoked. It wasn't even competitive. Like, this is mind-boggling. You're the tough guy. You talked about Floyd. You talked about all these guys. But you're not doing nothing to them. Like, they can't even make a fight with you because the weight difference is so off. You could do, like Terrence Crawford told you, he will break your neck. Everybody who's made a reply video has already come out and said, like, first off, you sucker punched him because y'all was both outside the ring. If you're a fighter and you're headed to the professional ranks and you sucker punch and you punch period, not even sucker punch, you punch period another fighter outside of the ring, something's wrong with you. Because any coach in America will let y'all get it out in the ring. In fact, they prefer, hey, take that in the ring. You talking trash to him, you hit him, put them in the ring. There's a reason why you guys never got back in the ring. I can promise you that. There's a reason why you never got in the ring with Terrence Crawford after you sucker punched him. This dude, he's guys like this bring a bad name to boxing. Guys like this going online, talking all this trash, bring an extremely bad name to boxing. This isn't what boxing is about. You know, boxing is the gentleman's sport. You know, yeah, there's a lot of trash talking, but it ends up getting backed up, and then it ends up getting backed up by the fight, and then the fighters become friends after and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a lot of craziness that goes on in boxing, but this, I was like, yo, this guy's got to stop. Like, you got to stop, boy. You're not doing nothing with any of these guys out here. These guys are all way too big for you in the professional ranks. You losing to 122 pounders, 125, 26, 27 pounders. Like, you're not messing with nobody above 135 at all, any day. Carl Frampton, none of these guys. You're not messing with none of these guys. You damn sure ain't gonna fight Leo Santa Cruz. Like, you're not fighting none of these guys. So quit it. I don't get why he don't stop. You talking about Floyd? It's like, you're not fucking with Broner. Excuse my language. You're not messing with Broner. You're not messing with Devin Haney. You're not messing with, Ryan Garcia. You're not messing with none of these kids. None of them. They're all way too big for you. But you got everybody's name in your mouth. I don't get it. And again, I'm not even coming at you. I'm just like, yo, like, are you doing this just for clout? Like, to get your followers up because you haven't been fighting and you're not a top name like you thought that you should be? Robert Easter, you're not messing with Robert Easter. You're not messing with none of these guys. Like, you're damn sure ain't messing with Mikey Garcia. I would love to see that fight. I would love to see that fight. Love to see that fight. Speaking of a fight I'd love to see, all right, I'm back with my food, finally. Again, shout out to Bucky. He's got me a chopped beef sandwich. Shout out to Cutting Up with Dan. There's your favorite sandwich, boy. I got you one. Well, that's as far as Gary Russell. I'm not going to touch too much on that subject because your boy is crazy. Like, can't be out here talking trash to other fighters and you this damn big. Like, Tory Lane's still the same height when you get out of a chair. All you're doing is shooting people in the foot. Get the hell out of here. Potential fight I want to talk about, Manny Pacquiao versus McGregor. I'm killing every day. I think George, you sent me that. Send me that picture of Conor McGregor versus Manny Pacquiao. That would make sense of why Conor McGregor is boxing and not doing MMA. Right now, we got Roy Jones Jr. fighting Mike Tyson. Holyfield fighting God knows who. We don't know who he's fighting, but he's fighting somebody. Conor McGregor versus Manny Pacquiao. There's gonna have to be a clause that says, Manny Pacquiao, you cannot kill Conor McGregor. There's gonna have to be a clause. There's gonna have to be a freaking clause in the contract that says, Manny Pacquiao, you can only hit Conor McGregor with 4% of your punching power. And again, is Pacquiao going to 154? where Floyd fought him. So because Conor can't come under anything close. Oh, I'm sorry, 155. Conor can't come anything close to 147. So what catch rate is this going to be at, or is it going to be a true 155 or 154 pound fight? That's what I really want to know, because we know Pacquiao be fighting that. He's the king of catch weights. The king of catch weights. The dude got a 154 pound title and fought at a catch rate of 150 for Margarito. So, I want to see what the hell he's going to fight Conor at, if the fight even happens. I mean, if it's real. If it's real and it happens, they got to stop. Like, you can't put Conor McGregor in there with Manny Pacquiao. In his second professional boxing match. I think it's going to be so lighthearted, because the buildup is going to be so lighthearted because Manny Pacquiao doesn't talk trash, and Conor McGregor isn't going to say. If Conor McGregor disrespects Manny Pacquiao, Freddie Roach is going to let Pacquiao off the leash, and he's going to go over there, and he's going to rip Conor McGregor apart. There's nothing, unless Conor McGregor uses his shoulder or kicks, there's nothing he can do to keep Manny Pacquiao off of him. This is the worst mismatch of all time in any sport in history. The worst. There's nothing he can do to hit. I don't care if he came in at 170 and fought Manny Pacquiao. There's not a punch he can throw to keep Manny Pacquiao off of him. Period. That's number one. Pacquiao doesn't have to fight. Pacquiao doesn't have to throw a punch. I'm laughing because this is funny that this fight is even made. Like, guys, styles make fights. And I'll say this, the Mayweather not training versus McGregor training his ass off to fight was that's even playing fields. But Manny Pacquiao's not gonna not train. He's not gonna do a Floyd and not train. We know Floyd only did sit-ups and push-ups for that fight. We know this, and ran a little bit. But Manny Pacquiao's gonna train his ass off for McGregor, and there's nothing McGregor can do. It's making tears come to my eyes because it's so funny. Because I don't want to see Conor McGregor die in the ring. You guys got to understand, when these fighters step into the ring, they can die. Whether or not it's before, during, or after. Well, obviously not before, but during or after the fight. They can die. I mean, Zab Judah almost died after the fight. If Floyd stopped you in 10, Pacquiao will probably stop you in 10 seconds or 10 minutes. It's not even competitive unless he just plays around with you. That's the only thing that I can see that Pacquiao making this fight competitive. You don't move your head enough to keep Pacquiao off you. And if you fought a Floyd that came directly at you and was in your chest, what the hell do you think you're going to do against a little Tasmanian Filipino? I'm not going to call him devil. That's disrespect. But a little Tasmanian animal coming at you with a barrage of punches. You're both southpaw, because we all know Pacquiao don't fight southpaws. That's why he won't fight Errol Spence. Boom. That's where I put the explosion. We all know Pacquiao don't fight southpaws. Period. He's fought 2, maybe 3. Joshua Clottey was the last southpaw he fought. He don't fight southpaws. That's the reason why he didn't fight Errol Spence. You got in the damn ring with Errol Spence after. You talked all that trash, and you fought Keith Thurman. You're going to take the Errol Spence fight now because you got into that damn car crash. You wasn't ready to take that fight after he smoked after he smoked Mikey Garcia. You got in the damn ring after that fight like you was fixing to fight Errol Spence, the prime super duper man that you was all ready to fight, and then went off and fought Keith Thurman, scared. Because you don't fight southpaws. Reason why Manny Pacquiao doesn't fight southpaws, I'm going to clip the hell out of this. The reason why Manny Pacquiao don't fight southpaws, because all of that, and this is the stance that he's in, If he's fighting like this, he can parry, because if the southpaw is fighting an orthodox fighter, the reason why it's so difficult to fight a southpaw if you're an orthodox fighter, and the reason why you have an advantage if you're a southpaw fighting an orthodox fighter, like what Pacquiao does with against all of his opponents, is because both of your jabs are at the same punch. So everything that Freddie Roach taught Pacquiao about how to slip and how to shoot the jab and slip under and throw the right hook over the jab and then still catch, because the best punch against a southpaw is your straight right hand, which Floyd was catching Pacquiao with all night, which Marquez put Pacquiao to sleep with, right? This is called Boxing Lessons with Agree to Disagree with Carl. This segment right here, Boxing Lessons with Carl. Boxing lesson. This is the reason why Manny Pacquiao doesn't fight southpaws, because all of his tricks against orthodox fighters are now out the window with southpaws. He'll fight an inexperienced southpaw like Conor McGregor. He's not fighting a super strong, experienced southpaw like two fighters. Terrence Crawford, who switches to southpaw, the best switch fighter that I've seen in many, many, many years, and Errol Spence. There's a reason why he won't fight neither one of them. That's the reason why. He will take a fight with Sean Porter, who's coming at him 24/7, versus taking a fight with a southpaw, because none of his tricks work. Now the guy's jab is over here. So you're trying to shoot your left hand. Boom, you try to shoot your left hand. He's shooting his left hand at the exact same time. You've been trained on how to avoid people's right hands for the conventional fighters. You've been trained how to avoid all of those punches all your life. Then you got Freddie Roach. He really taught you the distance and stop reaching and stuff like that. He taught you all of that. Now, yeah, you can still get clipped with a good right hand. You got clipped with a good right hand against Marquez. You got clipped with a couple good right hands against Keith Thurman. You've been clipped with a couple good right hands by, a few guys. Tim Bradley, a few guys. Of course, they didn't put you down, but you've been clipped with a few good right hands throughout your career. Floyd, you couldn't even get in on Floyd. Every time you came in on Floyd, I'll do it this way. Every time you came in on Floyd, bop. Every time you came in on Floyd, oop. Shoot that right hand and stop you right there in your place. Pacquiao does not fight southpaws because the tricks that he has against orthodox fighters do not work against southpaws. So I don't know if we'll ever see Pacquiao versus Terrence Crawford or Pacquiao versus Errol Spence. I doubt it. I mean, if he does fight Errol Spence or either one of those fighters, it'll be this Errol Spence, the one after Danny Garcia, because of his accident. But other than that, he stays the hell away. And the only southpaw who he will fight is a Conor McGregor. Like, that's it. Like, that. And again, even though Conor McGregor is a southpaw, there's nothing that he can do. But Conor McGregor switches too. I mean, Conor McGregor is going to switch, but he might fight orthodox. Who knows? Who knows what he fights? But either way, that's a joke of a fight. Like that. I'll watch it, but again, I don't want to see guys die. I like Conor McGregor. I love it. He's super entertaining. Extreme. I don't care about these people outside the ring. I'm just saying, I think he drinks too much, personally. I think he could definitely be a way higher elite fighter if he took care of his body. But that's another subject that I already touched on in the beginning of this. But to wrap all of this up, yeah, come on, these spectacles have got to stop. Like, Eddie Connor's the only one that can do it. He's the only one that can warrant people wanting to see him box people. Paulo Malignaggi at this age is a really good competitive boxing match for Conor McGregor, and I think Conor McGregor wins that match, personally. I love Paulo Malignaggi to death, but I think at this stage in his career, he can't keep the younger McGregor, busier McGregor off of him for 12 rounds or 10 rounds because it's a non-championship fight, but who knows, they might fight at 12. I don't think that he can keep I don't think Malignaggi can keep McGregor off of him, and McGregor's the bigger man naturally. So I think that's a competitive fight, but I think this right here is a money grab. Pacquiao has an opportunity for an easy $100 million for, 12 seconds. And McGregor, I guess, really wants to test his skills. You know what I mean? Like, he really wants to see how fast he can go to sleep. That's what McGregor really wants to do. You know what I mean? He's looking at like, yo, how can I get paid to go to sleep extremely fast. Let me fight Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll make $200 million or $150 million or at least $100 million, and I will go to sleep. Like, I can train and then I can just go to sleep. And then I'll wake up and I'll have $100 million. Let's go ahead. Let's sign that. Go ahead, managers. Dana White, go ahead, sign that. Like, that's the type of joke of fight it is. It's the same joke with the Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. It's the same thing. Like, but again, right now, people are bored and will watch anything. So hopefully you're watching this podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. There's not much really going on in the boxing world. I'm about to tear up this Buc-ee's. Shout out to Buc-ee's. Let me give a shout out to all my sponsors too, by the way. And sponsors / people who really help us grow every day. Killing Every Day Home Team, George, your family. We really appreciate everything that you've done, all the grind and the hard work that you're putting out there to expand your brand. We really appreciate you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you. Keep grinding. Go out there. I'll put a link to the description of their company below. Shout out to our new company that we're working with, Mo Unique Fitness. Her name is Monique, but it's Mo Unique Fitness. I'll put a link to in the description of all of her information and where you can find out her, or where you can find her and her company and all her gear that we now make in-house. We got the opportunity and the blessing to make her gear exclusively here. So we're really happy that we have that opportunity. And, we're growing. If you are into retail in Houston, we're looking for a retail store. That's our next move. We will have our store before the end of 2020. That's our goal. And we'd like to reach our goals here. Shout out to Khan's Kitchen, Lindsey Graham over there at LGP Productions. Shout out to you guys on her podcast. I'll put a link to her podcast and the link in the description below. Definitely her podcast is dope. Like, it's official. She's official with the production and everything. Shout out to her. And shout out to Khan's Kitchen. They are killing it over there. They got so many cool things in the work, man. They're on another level. They make me bring my game up every time because of their production level. So really big shouts out to them. Shouts out to Ishay, my boy. Young kid. We joke a lot, man. Fame, we joke a lot, but it's good to see you grinding. It's good to see you grinding and being inspired by others. And you make the best lemonade I've ever had. My wife, Jelly, she loves your lemonade. Like, your lemonade is crazy. Your Ishe line, which is Swahili for life. We want to build that line and help you grow with that, man. So shout out to Humble Servant up there, Navasota, cutting grass, killing it. He's expanding his business. If you need your grass cut, contact them. I'll leave their information in the description below. Shout out to Donovan's Domain. We filmed a new video today over there at the graffiti park over here in Houston. It's crazy. It was dope. Got some great pictures. It was fun. We had a beautiful day. He's a Fortnite king, so he's going to start killing the Fortnite content and start every week putting out Fortnite videos of him playing. So stay tuned for that. Here at Straight Content, we try to put out everything. Shout out to Boxley's, Uncle Steven. I'm shouting you out, Uncle Steven, because you don't understand how much you guys inspired me with everything that you've done. Just growing up and just really just not even having to say much, just showing what your work. You and Aunt Michelle and the family, you guys just showing what your work year after year, growing and expanding the business, the Boxley brand. I am letting you know, 2,600 miles away, way down here in Houston, I watch you and I'm extremely inspired. I too want to work from home when I'm at your age, hopefully before your age. You know what I mean? Before, however you are, I don't want to say how old you are now, but I want, that's what I aspire to. You know what I mean? We know that Papa Jim and stuff like that. Shout out to my grandfather, shout out to my dad. These guys are old and they're still working and grinding every day. And I want the luxury to be at home, wake up, go to my office in my house, see my children, make sure my children are good, go around the neighborhood. You know what I mean? That's that type of lifestyle that I really aspire for, and you're a great inspiration to that. So again, So Albany brand, Justin, you got the decals. My cousin Justin up there in Albany. Again, I'm shouting out all the people who are on the team, and we are all either related or family in some sort, and we are all grinding for greatness and entrepreneurship and just spreading information and spreading positivity. That's what all of this stuff is about. It's just about positivity. So shout out to him, So Albany. I hope to make all his decals and stuff like that for his brand. He's got the hottest brand in Albany. Shout him out. Shout out to my cousin. Shout out to my cousin Lauren. She got a new store. They got a whole new business. She got a dope hair salon in Virginia. She's killing it. Like my family and everybody that I know around me, I like to be around people who are always moving forward and creating businesses for other people and doing other things and just, you know what I mean? Just if I forgot you, I'll shout you on the next episode. Duker and his barbershop is killing it. Cutting up with Dan, his barbershop is killing it. He's expanding and stuff like that. I just like everybody who's out there expanding, everybody's out there who's putting in hard work. If you're working, killing it, wherever you're killing it, at your job, at your business, at cleaning, whatever you're doing, just continue to do that junk 100%. Keep grinding every day, and we support you here at Agree to Disagree Boxing Podcast. You know, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in again. It's your man Carl. I'm about to go tear this food up. We out. Be safe.